Me, Blue May, Jodi, Milliner, who, made this album from scratch. It wasn't like producers sending beats in and whatnot. And I just knew that I wanted the music to tell the story of like my life and my influences. So with this track in particular, you get the hip hop in there, but you got the dancehall from that bass lines coming in, the sped up vocal, which is quite garagey, UK garage. So it's such a London tune. So that was kind of the inspiration, like musically, just like who we are. I think I've done my part, in the same studio as we created the tune in, and then Kojo came in as well. And what's beautiful about this record, it wasn't like people just sending in vocals, you know what I mean? And that's how it goes sometimes. Everyone's busy in different places and whatever. Even with the Popcorn thing, I went to Jamaica and recorded that with him there. It's become like a thing that don't really happen too much anymore, but I think it's special when the two artists are present at the same time in the studio. Champagne off a pop on Mondays in case Friday flops. We celebrate life non-stop, cause we made it off the block. In real life, as much as like, bad things that's happening, there's great things happening, especially in the UK at the moment. Young creative people like really, making a name for themselves and cutting through. I look at, Lethal B and Wiley and Bizzle and DWE and all those people that we started this thing with, flourishing now, like 15 years later. It's amazing, man. So sometimes it's about patting each other on the back and just saying, like, yeah, big up, man, like, respect yourself. We got a long way to go, but yeah, let's celebrate the fact that we're here. Bizzle got the Rolls Royce drop. G family vacating like a boss. Tell a hater we made it. People that don't know Bizzle, I know him as Lethal B from Morfire Crew. He's, one of the originals, man. Someone, I probably heard through the pirate radio or whatever, someone I used to look up to, became a peer of mine. He's made songs like Pow with all the MCs, classic grime songs. He's a part of the furniture, like he's a real important figure in our scene. Never that this ain't complacence. This is that grinded through the grave shift. Now we're on stages, reminiscing times like then was so priceless. That's like pirate radio for us. We used to call the grave shift, doing like the late night, when hardly no one's probably listening, but when you join a pirate radio station, that's how you got to start out, you know what I mean? You're not just gonna jump into the big slot like 8 to 10 or 6 to 8 or whatever. I was in the ends when Kenny from Network was buying out Benz. So now it's high end when I spend. Acclimatized, yes, no shine on my neck, but the stripes on my crepe so drug dealer-esque. Kenny's a guy from Canning Town, which is like East London, I don't want to say too much about Kenny, but yeah, Network was his crew, and they was like, doing their thing. They was in the streets. Those were the guys buying all the big cars and whatnot, and I was just a youngster just seeing that. And basically, those were the guys that were on stuff back then and balling out and whatnot. And I guess a little bit of that rubs off on you. That's why. So now it's high end when I spin. You know what I mean? Now we have the opportunity to do that legally. You can smell the East on me, like Pink Ralphs and Versace blue jeans on me. In terms of Canning Town, East London, it's like a white area, really. Before black people came there, like my mum came over from Jamaica. I guess that Jamaican culture has rubbed off on English people, and and vice versa. Wearing Pink Ralphs and that. That's not necessarily really a black thing. And Versace blue jeans, I don't know if people know Versace blue jeans, but they're not jeans. That's an aftershave. I tell my cousin, don't worry, I got peas on me. We fuck club up, then flee the scene. Drive 2 Mercs off the floor, me and Bashi in the dealership. All black, all facts. Man didn't even leak the shit. Bashi is a mate of mine. He's a MC as well. He's a good friend of mine, and we got cars together, basically. We got the same car, and the day we went to pick it up, like they had them side by side, laid out. We drove off the showroom floor together. Like the guy filmed it and sent it to us, but we're both the kind of guys that are not gonna like post that kind of thing. That's why I said we didn't even leak the shit, you know what I mean? Big man ting, it's a big man ting. If you grip my tings, it's a hitman ting. I don't leave my crib if there ain't chicks and ting, and man don't even touch a road if it ain't wristband tings. Chin chin, we cheers eye to eye. The class of Deja is doing fine. And the class of Deja is the self and the Bizzles and the Wileys and the DEEs, Dizzy Rascals. That's to me like the class of Deja, which is Deja Vu, the pirate radio station. Always spending, never stunting though. That stunting shit will stunt your growth. The whole hood got love for me. For never fronting, no faking, no fuckeries. It's not about, you know, I was born here and this is, you know, the place I rap about and I'm never gonna leave here and, you know, anyone that leaves is a, you know what I mean, a sellout or whatever. Like, you can grow, you know what I mean? And you can move around the world and achieve like great things. Yeah, like my brothers, but they need a compass. We're trying to navigate out of this concrete jungle. I think it's not even about getting out, you know, it's not necessarily about a location. It's about mentally. It's like, I guess some people are just stuck in their ways or the way they think life is, you know what I mean? A lot of people have that kind of mentality, like I'm never meant to be nothing and whatever, and you know what I mean? It's like oh, but you're lucky, you know what I mean? You do music and whatever, and that's why you can, like, what can I do? We're just out here, man, we're just out here. There ain't nothing going on for us and whatnot, and that kind of mentality I would love for people to break out of. And if I don't see you on the other side, same 831 number, bro, you still can dial. I'm still higher power fearing though. No religion, just a realist soul. When I step out in my stands, beg you allow it, big man. Bad energy for cross the road. Move, bitch, don't be ludicrous. S-class, I'm so used to this. Chest, nah, rock a Cuban link. Puff cigars with Richie, got the Cuban link. Fly to Bilbao for lunch. And back by the evening, that's what grafters do when we're up. Fly to Bilbao for lunch, you know. The ultimate stunt. Yeah, everything's real, bro. Everything's real. My manager, Richard, who's sitting over there, it was my birthday, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna go for dinner. Bring your passport. I was like, what are you talking about, bring your I was like, anyway, I didn't know where we was going. Went to the airport, flew to Bilbao, got a taxi from the airport, drove to the restaurant, had the food, then drove back to the airport and like flew straight back and was back by the evening. You know what I mean? It took me out for a nice meal for my birthday. Low key, because I'm in the cut, but talk tough to your mother. I feel suck, rude boy. Dom Perry out of paper cups, can't take the manner out of us. We take the mandem out with us to an American audience. Yeah, the manor is just like the neighborhood that you're from. And no matter where I go around the world, because music has allowed me to travel and go to great places and witness like things that I never ever thought I would see, you know. You still can't take the East Ham out of me. First album's Home Sweet Home, second one London Town. You know what I mean? I've always like referencing my area and East London, and when I'm in another country, I'm just more general, like bigging up the UK, and you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing is very important to me, and I think important for everyone.